Alright boys, so last night it was raining, so we couldn't get to training, and there's a few other reasons as well, which is fine. But I'm not going to be there tomorrow night, but I really wanted to make sure we go through some leadership stuff just for 5 minutes. That's all this video is going to take. Just a few crucial points I want to touch on. So with leadership, we call this above the line, below the line behaviour. And above the line behaviour is what we want to do on the field, what we want to do off the field, and what we want to do at training, like your post-it notes that I spoke about during the week. Mick McNeil, I'll run through that with you with the post-it notes, but for everyone else, remember, what did you have on those post-it notes that are above the line behaviour? What can you do on the field when you're performing? What can you do off the field when you're not performing? And what can you do at training? So, to me, as a leader, positive behaviours are being a mentor, walking around with your chest up, head up high, so being positive, giving a guy a pat on the ass when they do something wrong, do something right, so probably recognition as well. Calling it out, I think calling it out is a positive behaviour. So if you see something going on at training or on the field, call it out, but call it out in a respective way. So don't call it out by, hey mate, you're doing it the wrong way, so everyone can see. Call it out by just getting a guy right next to you and just having a whisper in his ear. That's what's important. Don't make a big scene of it. Just call it out, bring the guy to you and have a quick chat in his ear. And challenge people as well. Challenging's above the line. But once again, when I say challenge respectfully, in a respectful way. So don't say, I think you're wrong, I think that's wrong. Just say, okay, let me understand a little bit more. Why are you doing that? What's the purpose behind you making that decision or making that call? So challenge it respectively. Now, massive above the line behaviours that have worked so well at the Gravedale Career Club over the last 25 years since I've been there. Number one, supporting the coach. We've got a great coach in Tomo, in Brian. We've always got to have his back to support the coach. No matter what happens, no matter what, even if you disagree with something he's doing, have his support, have his back. Sure, remember, go up and challenge Tomo respectfully, but never talk behind his back. Never do that. Go up and say to Tomo, what do you mean by this? I need to make this clear. And always support his message. So no matter what happens, support the message that Tomo is giving. It's not only the coach. It's the captains. So support the captains. Support Gaz. Support Baz. Support whoever your coach is. Once again, you might not agree with it, but if you go and go, oh, behind his back, oh, Gaz is doing this and Gaz is doing that, and oh, Barry's doing this, I don't know why Barry's doing that. It becomes toxic. It's a toxic behaviour. I'll talk about that below the line. But support the coach, support the captain, support your teammates in everything you do. Because what happens when we're not above the line behaviours, we're below the line. And this is what below the line behaviours are. Badger, as the acronym. Remember Badger. Number one, blame. We start blaming people. We start going, oh, so-and-so told me to do it this way, or so-and-so told me to do it that way. And we start finger pointing. That's not leadership. Leadership's about being accountable ourselves. So the first below the line behaviour is blame. The second one in our Badger is accuse. Very similar to blame, but this is what happened, and this is why it happened, and I reckon he did it deliberately, or I reckon he's doing it because of this way. Accusations. Negative behaviours below the line. Blame, accuse. Here's a massive one. Deny. I didn't do it. I didn't know what to do. As a leader, find out what to do. If you don't know, don't just nod your head. If you don't know, go and ask someone, what do you mean? Go and say, what do you mean by that, so I understand. The worst thing in the world, the worst response ever is, I didn't know. As a leader, go and find out. The next one is judge. Below the line behaviours. Judge. Oh, so-and-so's not making runs. or so-and-so is new to the club, or so-and-so doesn't know what he's doing. Why do we do that? We're a club. We're a very strong cultural club at Grovey as well. We need to do that as leaders. Next one. This is a big one. We start to make excuses. Oh, I didn't do this because I've got something on. I didn't do this because I didn't know. I didn't do this because... Excuses are crap, boys. Don't make excuses at a leader. Own it, to flip it, to make an excuse an above the line behaviour. We actually own it. We go, okay, you're right. I made a mistake. This is the reason why I made a mistake, and I'm going to be in integrity, and I'm not going to make that excuse again. Don't make excuses. The very last one, I know we've gone just over 5 minutes. Thanks, Shen, for filming. This is a massive word. Recruit. I don't know why I wrote it in green. For those of you colourblind, don't matter. We do not want to recruit. If we're below the line and we actually... I spelled it wrong. Thanks, Shen. If we're below the line, thanks for calling it out. I'll own that. And what I'll do is I'll make sure I spell recruit properly in the future. If we're below the line and we walk around like this, we're actually recruiting our teammates to do the same. If we do any of these behaviours below the line to say, oh, I didn't know about it, or so-and-so's doing it the wrong way. If we're doing that with our teammates, they're then going to start believing it, and they'll then go and recruit the next person, and recruit the next person. And all of a sudden, we're not supporting our skippers, and we're not supporting our coach anymore. So, anytime you see any of the badger going on below the line, call it out. Anytime you see badger, call it out and say that's a below the line behaviour as a leader. Get it back above the line. We're all going to slip into that, below the line as leaders, but get it back above the line. Good luck this weekend.